14th Village Board meeting to order. Would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jenna, can you do roll call for us, please?
Yes, Mayor. Snagowski.
Here.
Stapleton.
Here.
Kittredge.
Here.
Maher.
Here.
McClafferty.
Here.
Shaughnessy.
All right. Here. Next up, we got the consent agenda, which consists of the following. We have the approval of minutes for the COW meeting on October 17th, as well as the village board meeting on October 24th. We have approval of disbursements for the time period October 25th through November 14th, 2022. We have a resolution R-67-22, approving a plat of dedication for 623 4th Street. We have an ordinance O-53-22, amending the Lamont Municipal Code, Chapter 5.04, Section 5.04.060.B, for alcoholic beverages, decreasing the number of Class C1 liquor licenses for the CVS Pharmacy. I need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by trustee Snagowski, seconded by trustee McClafferty to approve the consent agenda. Do we have any questions or comments by the trustees regarding the consent agenda? Okay, roll call, please.
Snagowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Kittredge.
Yes.
Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
Okay, motion approved. Next up, under the mayor's report, we have a couple of public hearings. The first one is Truth in Taxation, public hearing for the 2022 proposed property tax levy. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So move.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by trustee Stapleton, seconded by trustee Snagowski at 6:33 p.m. Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Darshana, you want to take this?
Oh, sure. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On October 17th at the COW, the board had approved the 2022 tax levy amount of $4,290,906, which is higher than the 5% tax cap that we normally have to meet. We were allowed to levy up to a 5% PTEL tax cap. But because this was over the 5%, we were required to also do a public notice, which we did on November 1st in the Daily Southtown and on November 4th in the Lamont Suburban Live. So the recommendation is to hold a public hearing, and then I will come back with the tax levy ordinances and the abatement ordinances in December.
Great.
December 12th.
Thanks, Darshana. And again, the tax levy is built off of both inflation as well as growth. Is
Growth,
that
yeah,
correct?
growth.
And obviously, inflation, as we all know, gasoline, that goes into the snowplows and the lawnmowers is going up, as well as health insurance, so forth, so on. So again, this is just like any other year, except unfortunately, inflation is higher.
Correct.
And again, Lamont is experiencing growth, so again, a lot of that bill is spread to new homeowners as well. All right. Any other questions or comments? All right. With that being said, I need a motion to close or do we need to open it up for public comment?
Yeah, we'll open it up for public comment now. If anybody in the crowd would like to come up and speak, and I have not received any other comments prior to the meeting.
Okay. All right.
Ask a motion to close.
Okay, need a motion to close the public hearing, please?
So moved. Second.
All right, motion by trustee McClafferty, seconded by trustee Maher at exactly 6:35 p.m. We need a roll call, please.
Snagowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Kittredge.
Yes.
Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
All right. Motion approved. Okay, next up, we have a public hearing to consider a proposed annexation agreement with the PDV Midwest Refining LLC. I need a motion to open this public hearing, please.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by trustee Kittredge, seconded by trustee Maher at exactly 6:36 PM. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, we are officially open for public comment. George, do you want to take the lead here?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll give a brief introduction, and there's also a corresponding agreement on the agenda. This is a public hearing on the annexation agreement with PDV Midwest Refining, the Citgo Refinery, more commonly known as, on an annexation corridor adjacent to Smith Road. So these are properties west of Smith Road, about 130 total acres. This is only the annexation agreement. There will be several steps to follow at meetings in the future and regarding actual annexation, filing of petitions and rezoning. But I did want to mention here tonight so we could start on that process. Annexation has been a discussion of this board for the last couple strategic plans and other discussion follow-ups. A lot of it comes from the Cook County president has given direction to annex more territory. There's other policy documents, and in general, the reason why we'd want to annex territory for new growth would be expand tax base, but also the village oftentimes has the ability to more effectively serve in an area, and maybe more importantly, if it's in the village's jurisdiction, any new development will have to adhere to our codes, to our comprehensive plan, and the village board, along with its advisory boards and commissions, can weigh in on development that happens in a particular area. The majority of our annexations have been in Cook County. However, we have been, looking at proactively at areas of Will County. About 4 or 5 years ago, we annexed some territory along Archer Avenue in Will County, south of Target Coal, and we worked with our municipal neighbors, Homer Glen, on that project. Also, the Will County board we worked with on some coordination, disconnection of property, so that could come into Lamont. That's where the new Shell station was developed a couple years ago. And we hope to continue to build out that corridor in the future when property owners are ready to develop. The other area we've looked at, subject to this agreement, is the area west of Smith Road, north of 135th, west of Smith Road, bound by New Avenue to the far west. And regardless of there is development interest in this area, and we want to see that development occur in Lamont so we can regulate it appropriately, make sure it's consistent with our plans. But before we get to that point, we do need an annexation corridor, and we've been working with Citgo for the last several months on a corridor of annexation so that we can become contiguity to future development properties out in the area. Again, there's a lot to any development that does occur. Any development proposal has to come in for full review from our technical review staff, has to come through planning and zoning. This is regarding the corridor that has to be in place before further activities can assume. One of the item I'll mention, regardless of any development of having the properties on Smith Road in the village of Lamont, is that Banbrook Park, which will remain as open space, will remain a park going forward. That could be in our municipal jurisdiction, so we could serve it with our police. And we are typically, whether it be Cook County or the Will County Sheriff, we are quicker to respond in incidents than the county, just due to our proximity. So that's one benefit of having this in our territory, but also the ability to regulate this area in the future. So this action tonight doesn't annex property per se. It does outline an agreement with Citgo. They will get execution on their end, and then they will move forward for formal annexation activities of the corridor.
Thanks, George.
Thank you.
And,
I got one question of clarification.
yeah, go ahead, Rick.
George, you said down to New Avenue. Did you mean east of High Road, between High Road and Smith? You don't mean west of High Road?
Correct. No.
There really isn't anything down there. right?
No.
So just for clarification, it's the empty lots
Yeah.
that are across from Big Run that are west of Smith Road
Correct. Yep.
and east of High Road.
Correct. Yeah, that's a good point about High Road, because I don't know if anyone, realizes, but High Road, while the parcels adjacent to High Road and 127th Street west of Smith Road. Even though there's no parcels that are in the Village of Lamont, those two roads are actually our jurisdiction. 127th Street west of Smith Road and High Road, but there are no other parcels adjacent to it.
Except for the far south edge
That's
of
true,
High
yes.
Road,
Yeah.
north of 135th, which is in Romeoville.
Correct, yep.
Okay, where the curb and gutter is. That's how I always
Yes.
define it.
And just to follow up on that, I mean, I get asked quite a bit. Obviously, we have a lot of unincorporated territory to the north, near Woodridge, south near Homer, Lockport and Romeoville to the west, Palos to the east. So we are unusual in that there's a lot of unincorporated area still surrounding us. We continue to always talk to these landowners, communicate with them, understand what they're doing, because what we've seen is that eventually this land is developed. And if it's gonna be developed in our backyard, it's gonna impact our roads, truck traffic. We wanna have a say in it. And that's, an incentive to work with them, because it is going to be developed. So why not have it in Lamont? A lot of people that live near these areas, they're going to be upset, hey, we'd love to have Big Run stay there forever. I love golfing there, we love to have open space, but landowners, so forth, so on, are not always incentivized to do so. And we've seen some golf courses recently, Glen Eagles change, there's been rumors about Big Run. It's just not profitable for these courses to stay open. These landowners are looking to move on, and therefore we continue to talk with them. And it's just not the golf course owners, but it's all unincorporated areas. So again, we want to be able to have a say in it, especially if it's going to significantly impact, our roads and our truck traffic. Because the last thing we want is, if we have control over it, we can at least work with these new businesses as far as where this traffic can go. And also have, some say in the development. So again, that's, we all know that, but I just want to reemphasize why we continue to work with these landowners. So any other questions or comments? All right, so with that being said, we can, any public comment on this, George? Did you hear
We have
anything?
one gentleman.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Come on up. Yeah, if you
Yes,
could.
please.
And then state your name for the record.
Dave Wilkes. I was here before. I do live on High Road. You're correct in one thing that, half of it is Romeville, the other half is Lamont's jurisdiction. When they wrecked the road, I was down here and I addressed it to you guys. Your Public Works has not fixed any of the end of the road. I would like to see it get fixed. Now, winter's coming. There's 3 sections that the water runs across the road, which I've been down to Public Works, I've left them messages, nobody calls me back. If I can have a meeting with them, I can show them the problems with that. That's number 1. Number 2 is, you annex this property in. Aren't you supposed to let the people that live there know that it's getting annexed in? I'm the first house west of that property, across from Big Road.
Yeah, just so we're clear, those areas are not annexed. They're not being annexed. It's the corridor along
High
Smith
Road is ours, but there's no
Yeah.
property.
Half of High Road.
So you're talking, and I
Yeah,
know,
half a high, right. The other.
Across,
the-
across from Big Run, 43 acres where they want to put the trucking terminal in.
those are subject to development plan. Those are not being annexed as part of this action.
I was told that Lamont's annexing that in,
It's not,
No.
it's not, nothing is,
and I was told that Citgo's bringing a water and sewer line up through the park and all that to that property.
Sitco has no
Sitco is-
control over that. That would be the village,
They're going through Citgo, the park and all that.
yeah.
But
That's
again-
possible, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Drawing of where it's
And again,
at.
any development
And
past,
just so you know, Citgo put a $9 million bid in on Big Run, and it was approved.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Dave.
you have information we don't
Oh,
have.
yes, I do. Yes, I
right.
do. But the main thing is,
So $9
we
million.
need to get High Road fixed, okay? All last winter, you guys taking your salt up to Mobile's gate. You don't come all the way down to the concrete pillars.
Is that village property?
Yes, it is. That's one issue. You need to fix the road. Now, I told you about the cracks and they busted it up when Citgo closed 127th High Road. They said they're gonna fix the road. They put a couple patches in on the big hole areas. The rest of it needs to be fixed. You also need to put a sign up there. That road is only 16 feet wide. It's not wide enough for 2 trucks to go down it. It's definitely not wide enough for 2 cars to go down it. Where it crosses by Ed Pavlich's property, and that's another one, that 20 acres, that supposedly a trucking guy wants to put a thing in there that you guys are supposedly working on a deal.
I have no idea what you're talking about. But you said Big Run sold for 9 million?
That's what I was told.
Oh, okay, all right.
And we'll have Ralph follow up with you, meet you on site, or have one of his staff members. You're going to be a valuable.
Kevin's got my phone number. Ralph, I've left messages with him.
Okay.
I
we'll
was
do.
on there Wednesday and never called me back or anything else. If somebody could meet me and we can walk that road and I can show them where the problems are. Because that corner down there, you guys know, and the police chief will tell you how many times there's accidents on that corner. When that shit starts freezing,
Yeah.
you're gonna have nothing but problems again.
Sounds good.
And then I'll need to talk to you afterwards too, George, because obviously you know what's going on with that corridor, because I've gotta know what corridor that is you're talking about.
Dave, we are going to have meetings upon meetings, and any developers interested, we've encouraged them to meet with everybody out in the area. Really, what we're talking about tonight.
Next Monday, there's a meeting with that property about the annexation.
No. Not that I know of. No. We'll talk, though.
I'll talk to you.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else for public comment?
There's an item under the annexation agreement. We just went through another public hearing you may have been late for. And then there's general public comment. That's later on in the agenda. So which item are you? Just a general? Yeah, why don't you wait for the, it'll be probably another 5-10 minutes for the next opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other questions, comments by the trustees? All right. Okay, so we need, what's that?
Motion to close.
Okay, yeah, I need a motion to close
So moved.
public hearing at, okay, motion by trustee Stapleton. Anyone second?
Second.
Second, trustee Maher. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, we're closed at 6:48. Okay, next up, we got the mayor's mention. We got Lighting Up Lamont officially begins on Friday, November 25th, just in time for Small Business Saturday, which is on the following day, the 26th. As always, please support all our local businesses and do your holiday shopping in Lamont. And Ralph, just want to let you know, we were at the Veterans Day luncheon, and I had 3 different people come up, and they just wanted to say how much they thank the village for what a great job you guys do with the decorations. And one lady said specifically, thank you for leaving them up extra later in the year. So I know, Ralph, that's a lot of work with your staff, but it does not go unnoticed. And 2 of the people said, hey, you know, they bring people from out of town, and they say, hey, it definitely is something they look forward to. So again, Ralph, great job with you and your staff. Much appreciated. Also, be sure to take advantage of our light displays for your photographs. The Lighting of Lamont will run through the end of January. Hometown Holiday is Saturday, December 3rd from 3 to 7:30 p.m. in downtown Lamont. The tree lighting ceremony is at 5 p.m. in the Front Street lot. Please visit lamontil.us/holidays for details of this and many other events that take place this holiday season. All right, that is it for Mayor's mention. Next up, Clerk's report. Janet, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First up, ordinance O-54-22, authorizing the execution of an annexation agreement for 104.7 acres of property located west of Smith Road in Lamont Hill, PDV Midwest Refining LLC.
All right, need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion by trustee Snagowski, seconded by trustee McClafferty. George,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is related to the public hearing, but again, I just want to clarify. It's for Citgo-owned property on Smith Road only, adjacent to Smith Road on the western side. Again, this is just the annexation agreement in which sets in motion Citgo actually formally requesting annexation and going through the process. But this is only for the area west of Smith Road, no development plans, just a annexation corridor.
Got it. Thanks, George. Any questions or comments? All right, roll call, please.
Snagowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Kittredge. Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed.
Ordinance O-55-22, amending Title 17 of the Lamont Municipal Code, the Village of Lamont.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So move.
Second.
All right, motion by trustee Stapleton, seconded by trustee Kittredge. Jason, are you taking this one?
I am, thank you. The amendments here are for two sections. The first is changing the use table in our most intense industrial district, I-3, which allows trailer parking of freight transportation terminal by right. We no longer believe that this should be allowed by right, and so we're changing it. We're recommending changing it to a special use, which would require a public hearing. The freight transportation terminal is already a special use in M2, and it is not allowed in M1. The other is to change lot coverage in R5A. As noted in the report, when we created the R5A zoning district a few years ago, we just transferred over the R4A sizes for setbacks. Is a little restrictive since the R5A lots are smaller. So the change will be consistent with R5 and R6 lots. Both of these went to the Planning and Zoning Commission this month and have a unanimous recommendation for these amendments.
Thanks, Jason. And to follow up, going back to our unincorporated areas, we have, what's the big unincorporated trucking terminal that's down here on New Avenue?
The old,
Yeah.
yeah.
And again, that is unincorporated. Those are the uses that could be right in our, backyard if we continue to keep things unincorporated like this, because that is a number one use that we keep hearing is truck terminal parking. And unfortunately, they don't need to pave it. It can be grindings. We've seen it over and over. It adds traffic to our downtown. Again, when things like this are incorporated in, we have the ability to monitor this. But unfortunately, some of these sites continue to be unincorporated. But that's neither here nor there considering what we're talking about here. But any other questions regarding this for Jason? All right, roll call, please.
Snagowski.
Yes.
Stapleton.
Yes.
Kittredge.
Yes.
Maher.
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
All right, motion approved.
Resolution R-68-22, approving Terra Engineering Limited proposal for Phase 1 engineering professional services.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion by trustee Kittredge, seconded by trustee Maher. Jason, you taking this as well?
Yes, indeed, I will. So this is a bit of good news for the village. We're moving forward with our plans to create a separated bike trail on the Centennial Trail on what's known as Canal Bank Road. That's north of the Sanitary and Ship Canal between Lamont Road and heading east towards the DuPage County Forest Preserves. As trail users know here, the trail shares the road currently with heavy industrial, with other canal users. So this process was recommended to us by the Cook County Department of Transportation and Highways. They gave the village a grant to cover half the cost of Phase 1 engineering, and we will partner with them, the Forest Preserve districts, and the MWRD to get started as soon as possible. We selected Terra as they are currently the engineer for the bike bridge on the Stevens Street right away.
Jason, any questions or comments by the trustees?
I just have one
Go ahead,
comment.
Dave.
I just want to say this is obviously a important step in that area. It's a dangerous area for pedestrians on there with the big trucks that are out there. And I know this is also grants, so I think this is a great addition, so thank you. Jason, thanks for your hard work on it.
All right, cool. All right. You all good? All right, roll call, please.
Snagowski,
Yes.
Stapleton,
Yes.
Kittredge,
Yes.
Maher,
Yes.
McClafferty,
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
All right, motion approved.
Resolution R-69-22, approving 3 final of subdivision for Glen Eagles, Unit 2A, Unit 2B, and Unit 3.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by trustee McClafferty, seconded by trustee Maher. Jason, are you taking this as well, buddy?
I sure will, yes. Nothing too unique here. We have already approved plats of subdivision for Glen Eagles to get that project started. They're finalizing these other units, and we brought that to the Plan Commission in November this month. There is a unanimous recommendation to approve these 3 final plats.
All right, thanks, Jason. All right, any other questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Snagowski,
Yes.
Stapleton,
Yes.
Kittredge,
Yes.
Maher,
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
All right, motion approved.
Resolution R-70-22, approving a final plot of subdivision of Marbella of Lamont.
All right, need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion by trustee Stapleton, seconded by trustee McClafferty. Jason?
Taking this. Yes, yeah. This item and the next item on the agenda can be considered together in terms of explanation. The village approved last month on October 24th, real estate exchange agreement. That agreement will have the village exchanging a portion of its reserve strip for a portion of the Marbella of Lamont development. The village will receive on this plat, Lot 2 of Marbella of Lamont in exchange for Lot 1 in the following resolution. We were directed by our attorney on this deal, Vince Kankar, to get this on the November agenda and get this approved and recorded as soon as possible. He's hoping to get these recorded before the tax bills go out.
All right, thanks, Jason. Any questions or comments for Jason? All right, roll call, please.
Snagowski,
Yes.
Stapleton,
Yes.
Kittredge,
Yes.
Maher,
No.
McClafferty,
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
All right, motion approved.
A resolution R-71-22, approving a final plat of subdivision for General Fries.
Okay, need a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion by trustee Snagowski, seconded by trustee Kittredge. Jason, anything to add on this, or are we all good?
You're good.
All right. Questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Snagowski,
Yes.
Stapleton,
Yes.
Kittredge,
Yes.
Maher,
Yes.
McClafferty,
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
All right, motion approved. All right, thanks, Janet.
Thank you.
Good work.
Thank you.
All right, next up, village attorney report. Mike, got anything?
I have nothing.
George, administrator report?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple of quick updates. I know Ralph's going to have some updates on the water tower and some local water main projects, but I did want to give a couple updates on some capital projects, and we'll be getting into it during our capital budget season, which is going to be starting here soon. But first of all, we're back in front of the Illinois Department of Natural Resources on our Lake Michigan water allocation process here. Another pre-conference hearing in December, and then we should be ready to go in spring. If you recall, earlier in the year, we went through an analysis of water sources long-term. While the village didn't choose to migrate its sources in the short period of time that we had, we did talk about making sure that we had a Lake Michigan allocation for the future. If the village were to decide to jump on with one of the regional suppliers. So we're going to be back in front of them in December, and then probably real hearing in February or March, and then we'll report back to the board. As part of that, we are going to be starting a water rate and structure study that's being recommended as part of the process, but more informational that process is ongoing. Staff's done a great job, our engineers, and Darshana's jumping in and understanding everything water, right, Darshana? So no, Ralph and his staff. So we'll be able to share that report online once it's finalized, and then we will update accordingly. Another quick update, if you recall, back in 2021, we entered an agreement with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to do a comprehensive study of the I&M Canal. As much as work we have done on the canal of evaluating options to improve water quality and flow, we've never actually done a full comprehensive water model on the canal, and that was part of a grant we secured through our federal lobbyists that we've been working with. We engaged the Army Corps of Engineers early on, partnered on the project. We've modeled it, studied it, and they're ready to give us some recommendations here in the next couple months that we can bring to the board, to our advisory committees, to discuss potentially what improvements can be made to the canal now that we have all that valuable data. And then hopefully there's some federal dollars that'll follow as well. That project is ongoing. We have the data now, and now the engineers and Public Works, they're studying it. We'll be able to bring that back to the board here shortly. Next update, we are going to be, we'll talk about it at the committee of the whole next week, but a couple construction projects that we've been working on, the ADA ramp leading to the Lamont Street pedestrian bridge, and also the new pedestrian bridge that's going to be going in east of Holmes Street over the I&M Canal, are just about ready to be permitted. We bid that project in the spring. The contractor has held their bid until now while we're waiting for our permits from the DNR. We are hopeful to have them within a week or two, and I'd like to get that contract up for approval at the end of this month. But because it's late in the year, obviously that'll be a spring project, but a lot of construction happening in the downtown. More information next week, and then at the end of the month when we present for approval. So that's all I have for you today, Mr.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks, George. Okay. Next up, any board reports? Staff reports. Ralph, you have anything for us?
I do, Mr. Mayor, thank you. First up, I want to give you some project updates that I've got here. The MFT project, the paving project, is in the punch list phase over by Schultz, Crook, Tomaszewski, and what's the other one? Harrisek. Turned out well over there. We're working with the contractor to button that up for the year. The Stephen Street water main, the extension from River Road down to Tri-Central, that's completed. They had 45 days of hammering the bedrock, trying to get that water main in. It's a long project, but that's completed, and we're working with the paver to get a schedule from him to get that done before winter sets in. And then I have the water tower site. You guys seen some action over there. They put in the temporary road for the equipment and the work to start. And the storm sewers were installed and connected underneath Derby Road. And the foundation, the first phase of the foundation has been started last week. They started pouring the concrete. So things are moving over there. And I'm still trying to get an answer on when some of the materials will be delivered, some of the steel. I haven't gotten that yet, but I will definitely update the board. And as you said, Mayor, we're in full holiday mode right now. We're installing Christmas decorations everywhere. We're trying to empty our garage here. So we are busy. And tomorrow it's supposed to snow, so we'll see how that goes. But that's all I have for tonight, Mayor.
Thanks, Ralph. And again, thanks again for all your, and like I said, doesn't go unnoticed, the lights, so again.
Ralph, I have a question. This is Ron. Hillview, any work going to be done on Hillview this year?
Well, we're supposed to do water main on Hillview, Ron. And I'm working with the contractor now. They're very busy, so I don't know the status of the water main project, but I'll keep you guys posted when I find out. It's Austin Tyler is the contractor, and they're working in Joliet right now, and I'm trying to get them to nail down a date for us for the water main on Hillview.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Ralph. Chief, do you have anything? Arshawn, all good? All right, any unfinished or new business? You all good? All right. Next up, audience participation. George, you want to handle that?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Sorry to hold you up till the end of the meeting, but yeah, this is the time where item doesn't have to be on the agenda. It's just opportunity to speak and just come up to the podium if you could state your name and for the record. And we do have. Go
Mary
ahead.
Freemerick. I was just came to find out what the tax increase that is, that was on the agenda for today, so I just wanted to know what it is and what are we deciding on?
Yeah, so this is and you missed it, you walked in a little bit late. Every November, we discuss at the committee of the whole, and then we have to have a public hearing in front of this board on the tax levy, which then gives us the amount that we levy over the community for next year's taxes. So that's the first, the kickoff to our budget cycle. The increase, what we're allowed to by law, being a non-home rule community, under the tax caps, they call them, in early 1990s, the state legislature put in tax cap rules that said that the inflationary increases on property taxes for existing properties in the town can only go up by the CPI or 5%, whichever is higher. And so this year, this is the first year since 1990, I believe, that CPI actually is over 5%. We can't levy to 7%, but we can levy down to 5%. And then the reason why it's not 5% and 7% is because of new growth. Because we're annexing new territory, we're developing new developments in town, so we're allowed to capture 100% of that new growth.
So that is 7.61?
So the total increase of taxes levied will be 7.6% higher this year than it was last year. But the inflationary portion's only 5%, if that makes any sense.
I don't know.
So basically,
Seems like this is a bad time to raise taxes. I know we have a lot of people moving into Lamont, and the taxes are increased. I mean, we just agreed to the schools to have renovations, and I just think, we're all suffering right now, and I think an increase to all of us will hurt us because everything had gone up. I mean, heat, everything had gone up, groceries, everything. I think this is a bad time to even consider that high of an increase when other towns are even lower. So, that's
no,
what
I understand. And just so you understand, the property tax levy is, the 5% has to cover gasoline for the snowplows, gasoline for the police cars, healthcare that's going up.
gasoline for our houses and.
Everything that.
I know.
So the services that we want to continue to provide, the inputs are going up even higher than the 5%, as we
Well,
well
I
know.
know, I'm feeling it at home. I'm a senior citizen and, we're feeling it. My daughter just bought a house in Lamont because of schools, one thing, and she has a lot on her, 3 kids, single, and divorced anyway. But, it's hurting her a lot. And seniors too. And I mean at the grocery store, everywhere, it's hurting us.
Yeah.
So I think the high end is ridiculous, 7.61 is
And
ridiculous.
I understand that, and I'm glad you chose Lamont, we all do. No one will ever say, hey, my taxes are too low, right? No one will ever say property taxes are too low. Fortunately, in Lamont, we have, I believe, what is it, Jason, the 5th lowest property or 7th lowest property tax in all of Cook County. I know no one ever wants to hear that, but relative to our neighboring towns. Lamont, from a property tax standpoint, is low, but myself as a taxpayer, you'll never convince me of that. But I'm just sharing with you kind of the facts, and we totally get it. If we didn't have, you know, if we have an abundance of, you know, revenues, we would not be applying the tax. But again, we're just trying to continue to provide the services that people expect. We're severely underfunded still on our police pension, probably to the tunage now of 7 to 8 million. So, you know, I hear you.
And my pension is low too.
Yeah.
So I just want you to know that. So,
But I tell you what, thank you for coming out and sharing your thoughts, though. We appreciate that.
oh, you're welcome, and thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, and thanks again for choosing Lamont.
Rick had a comment.
I did notice on some of the social media pages, I still believe there's a drastic misunderstanding of what takes place when we do the tax levy. And I don't know if there's a better way to communicate it, but, you know, that the 2.6% has to be levied in order to collect off of the new growth. Otherwise, we have no way to collect it. So what I saw on the social pages are, you know, we're growing, so we should have more taxes coming in because of the homes. That's exactly correct. But the only way to get those taxes is to levy the taxes upon those new areas. So that's what makes up the 2.6%, is that we now have 2.6% more inclusion.
It's a bigger pie.
It's a bigger, we're creating a bigger pie, which had we not had that, then we would be even in worse condition on the inflation side. So I don't know how better to explain it. Maybe an illustration would help at some point. We could post, you know, or something. But I hear this, and it's obvious that there's a misunderstanding of people thinking, how can they be raising the taxes 7.6 or whatever the exact number is, 7 point something percent? Was it 7.6, George? I forget what we just had up there. But that's not the case. It includes this encompassing of the new area. So, and that's the levy. We also, in the next, the next meeting or the following meeting, will be abating taxes that we apply against things that we try to collect, which means if we don't get the money in that we thought we were gonna get in when you pay your water bill, for example, then we have to assure that those costs are gonna be paid, so it's done by tax dollars. However, if the fees are enough, then we abate the taxes. So again, to the mayor's point, we don't end up with an excess, we're giving that back, we're not applying it. So it's very complicated, but I just think it's important to understand that it doesn't mean the village's taxes went up 7.6%. It means the area we're collecting off of, including the inflation side, went up.
So
5% on the inflation side, 2.6 on the size.
And if I'm not mistaken, only 5 or 6% of your tax dollar goes to the village of Lamont. So for every dollar you pay in real estate taxes, only 5 or 6 cents of that goes to the village.
That's to further complicate it. We're one of 7 or 8 entities who levy.
You got the school districts, the fire, the
I
park
believe the fire
district,
district gets more money than we do, so.
So I just want to add one thing to that. When we're talking about the levy, it's the total taxes we collect. So what we're increasing is the taxes we're collecting, not the taxes that's going to your house. So I think that's to me, that's the biggest one that I explain to people is, it's 7.6%. We're gonna get 7.6% more money this year than we did last year on property taxes. 2.5% of that's coming from all the new houses that are coming. 5% is being divided amongst everyone. Now, houses did different things. Some houses did additions, some, you know, or rehabs and stuff like that. So your property may not go up 5%, your property could go up 3%, right? Someone else's might go up 6%. But what the total collection amount is up 5% for us. So, and all the districts are the same. When they talk about the schools and the fire district, they're all gonna go through a levy, they're all gonna increase because they have to, because costs go up, just like your costs are going up. But they're increasing at the top, and the way it gets distributed may not be exactly the same. So it's kind of scary when you hear 7.5%, but at least a third of that is no impact to you because it's for the new houses. And then the other part will get divided amongst everyone based on how their home values did and go to you. So you may or may not get the 5% is really what we're talking about here. So,
I'm glad it made everything so clear.
Well, I just think-
I don't mean you, Dave, I mean in general.
Yeah.
It's a complicated process.
and I think everyone hears 5%, they're like, my taxes are going up 5%, and it's really, it's not specific to you, it's general to the village, and that's.
And it also then applies to the EAV that the county assesses
Yeah.
every 4 years. So if ours could potentially have gone down, in which case, even though the percent is 5%, the bill may be down because the value went down.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah. So, and again, to Ron's point, we're only talking about 5, 6, 7 cents on a property tax dollar. That's what goes to the village. That 5, 6, 7 cents covers our police, our public works, so forth, so on. The schools are the lion's share. Both school districts are probably about, I don't know, 2/3. You got fire, which is significantly, we're the lowest one on the totem pole. But, you know, again, our inputs go up as well, so. I don't know if we clarified anything.
We'll come up with a chart. What do you think, Tricia?
But
Thank you for your
again, thank you for coming out, though. Much appreciated. All right. Anything else, George? Any emails or?
Nope, I have nothing
Okay.
else.
All right, so that closes public session. I have executive session on here, but are we,
There is nothing.
okay, no executive session? All right, so with that being said, we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion by trustee Stapleton, seconded by trustee Snakowski. Roll call, please.
Snagowski,
Yes.
Stapleton,
Yes.
Kittredge.
Yes.
Maher,
Yes.
McClafferty.
Yes.
Shaughnessy.
Yes.
All right, motion approved. Thank you, everyone. Everyone have a great week, and happy Thanksgiving if we don't see you next week.